Come one, come all, and bear witness to the noble Clash Royale League. First up, in the North American region, Vulcan, Firewolf, and Team SoloMid compete in the CRL arena for the very first time in history. Will they begin with a bang, or will Raza continue his 10-game win streak and deliver another win for Complexity Gaming? Well, it's time to find out!
Hello and welcome to Clash Royale League. I'm Rich Slayton. Joining me is Paul Inverum Toddkill to talk you through day 4 of action in the North American region.
We've already had so many amazing games here in the North American region, and we're about to see the debut of a new face here.
That team looking to get enough wins to make it to the playoffs. Remember, all 8 teams play each other twice. The 4 teams with the best records go to those playoffs, looking for a chance to represent North America at the World Finals.
And of course, you can catch all the action right here on the Clash Royale League Esports YouTube channel. And if you're looking for a little bit more info, go to esports.clashroyale.com or open up the new tab in-game, the new Esports tab. You can set your region, check out all the matches, schedules, find everything you need right there.
One of our 2 teams today making their 3rd appearance, looking to go 3-0, is Complexity Gaming, led, of course, by the King Killer Razzer.
Going up against a new face here in the Clash Royale League, Team SoloMid. Complexity, of course, so many amazing names. Adrian, Piedra, Colton as well. Going up against Firewolf, Vulcan, and Air Surfer.
And standing by with Firewolf is our colleague, Christy St. John.
Thanks, guys. Firewolf, you flew in just this morning. Is that going to affect your gameplay at all?
That is not going to affect my gameplay. I've been practicing ever since I've been off and on the flight.
Absolutely. And quick question. You have done something that every Clash player dreams about. You got to #1 on the ladder. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's actually been great. I've actually, as soon as I get #1, I usually tilt. That's what I do most of the time, and I'm not concentrating on ladder as much as I have now. I'm actually practicing more on competitive because ladder won't matter here.
Absolutely. And then final Canadian question. Have you had your Timmies this morning?
I had it 1 week and the week before that, just before I left out, because there isn't here and I'm definitely going to miss it.
True. And back to you guys.
Thanks, Christy. We are minutes away from kicking off this match. But before we get started, let's review our format.
We're going to start off with the 2v2, going into the 1v1 after that. And of course, if we need it, we will progress to our King of the Hill, our ace match. Of course, each of these sets will have their own unique sets of bans that will update for each set.
Lineups aren't set quite yet, but they will be in just a moment. Let's take a look inside the war rooms.
All right, guys, let's do this. We got TSM. This is a really talented opponent. We cannot take them lightly. All right, let's go over bans. 2v2. What do we have, guys?
We have Cannon, Cart, and Poison.
Cannon, Cart, and Poison. All right, we talked about what we want to play.
Yeah.
This is a set that we can really take advantage of, right? Because this is their first game. So let's set the tone, just like we have in the first 2 games. We'll start out here with a key set win, okay?
Yeah.
Razzer, you're playing really well, man, but you are 0-0 today. And as a team, we're 0-0 today. So we got to go out there every single game and take it, just like it's our first game too, okay? 1v1 set, what do we got?
Yeah, well, we have Valk and
Yep.
Tornado.
Valken Tornado Band.
Valken
That's
Tornado.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. This is right where you want to be. Okay. So remember who you are. All right. You're our eagle, dude. You're our eagle. So trust yourself. Right. You have phenomenal instincts. So go out there and crush it for us, man. We'll finish this up 2-0.
Vamos.
All right. Let's do it, guys.
Vamos.
Bring it in. 1, 2, 3. Complexity.
Today we're versing a really strong opponent, veteran team Complexity. They're off to a really good start, 2-0. So for our 2v2, we have Air Surfer and Firewolf. Yeah. For our 1v1, Vulcan, you're up. Yep. And I just want to say, guys, play smart. Communication is key. And also, don't forget, the most important thing, play style. Do not change your play style because you're being filmed. Play true to who you are. Stay true to who you are. And let's get it, boys. TSM on 3. 3, 2, 1.
TSM! Jabba, 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 they've talked the talk. Now it's time to walk the walk and play for real. TSM and Complexity, send your 2v2 duos into the arena.
The first set about to begin in this matchup between Complexity and TSM.
Razor and Colton coming out for Complexity. These guys are 4-0, and Razor's been getting a lot of attention, but Colton is such a big part of that as well.
One of the best elixir counters in the game, although much more difficult to do that in 2v2.
And they're going up against Air Surfer and Firewolf, the young standouts coming in here from Team SoloMid. They have a bit of a mountain to climb.
Yes, but Firewolf looking very confident so far. Excited to see what this young team does here at 2v2 for CRL.
Of course, Team SoloMid, they're such an amazing, huge org, prolific across many games, but here in Clash Royale, this is their first day, but let's talk about the bans, because this is going to be a huge part of this matchup.
Poison banned by TSM, and Cannon Cart making an appearance on ban for Complexity Gaming.
Interesting ban coming in here. I mean, Cannon Cart obviously has a great spot in the meta right now, and especially in 2v2 when things are so chaotic, you're able to just slip it in there right on the bridge, maybe get a couple 500-600 damage off in there. That can really start to add up.
Neither of those cards can make an appearance for the entire 2v2 set. This match is about to get underway.
We're getting into game number 1 here. Complexity, of course, 2-0 in terms of the overall leaderboard, and they have yet to really lose a 2v2 here. They're obviously feeling very comfortable. To start things off, though, we are seeing a mortar coming up. That's a cheeky first play.
Very interesting opening play, maybe trying to sneak in a little bit of damage on the left-hand tower, but the Mega Minion makes short work.
We are seeing the Miner coming out. Miner, of course, a card we've seen a lot of in 2v2, but of course, that's one of the potential downsides of playing Miner.
Interesting to note that we just saw Tornado making its appearance, activating that double King Tower, huge, and the opening minutes for Complexity. Also, remember, Rocket is still on the board, so you do have that wonderful synergy.
The Lava Hound, of course, coming out, becoming a staple here in 2v2 play, able to just tank up so much damage. And yeah, you always have to respond to that here. That's not something you can just sort of leave to its own devices, because once those pups spawn, it will chunk your tower.
Air Surfer and Firewolf choosing to go quite small so far in the opening moments of this 2v2 match. We haven't seen a lot of super fast decks so far.
We haven't really, but we're interested in seeing the Mega Minion, or the Minion Horde, I should say, coming out here. Not a card we've seen a lot of traditionally, because there is usually a lot of splash damage like that Baby Dragon you see, and pretty easy to clean that up in 2v2.
We are approaching the halfway point of regulation time so far. TSM out to a slight lead with 21:50 left on the left-hand tower of Complexity Game.
But you have to talk about how valuable it is, the fact that Complexity has activated that King Tower to start this off. This will be huge. I mean, when that happens later in the game, it's less of a big deal here, but that is going to be constantly adding value in terms of defense across the board right now, as they're slowly just cycling that out. A couple mortar hits, though, will go a long way.
Little bit of siege work does stay outside of that King Tower's range of damage now. A Lava Hound push developing on the left-hand side for Colton and Razor.
With the Night Witch here as well, this is a big push, and the Mega Minion to back that up. You know, the Magic Archer is slowly going to be working on that, pulling everything together, getting that, pulling it all in for the combo with the Fireball. This is exactly what you expect to see from Complexity.
Taking care of the Magic Archer and that Mortar, now giving room for the Lava Hound to get on the left-hand tower of TSM.
This is big now, but we are seeing a counter push being mounted for TSM. The Mortar is here. The Valkyrie going to be doing work here in this 2v2 matchup. Of course, having that splash damage, that area of effect gets even more value here in 2v2. Look at the way they're cycling that through. The Mortar is going to be chucking away.
The Mortar Miner deck here in 2v2 doing work. The left-hand tower of Colton and Razor now down to just 1161 as we enter the last 30 seconds of regulation.
Keeping this Mortar up on cooldown, I like it. Having the Tombstone here to distract as well, but it really feels like TSM has identified their winning condition. They are just going to siege them down.
Well, keep in mind that Vulcan, who is going to be playing 1v1 for TSM, a big student, likes to look at his opponent's decks and take notes, memorize what their cycles might be like. Maybe he's done some research here and given his teammates an advantage going into 2v2.
They are looking to really just sort of focus down this tower here. There's a big push coming in right now for Complexity. It looks like they're just going to try and base trade it out right now. There's the Rocket going in, only 80 HP remaining. Can they get this in time? The Fireball's coming in. The push from Complexity is very real. The tower is getting low.
Oh my God! And the streak continues by the skin of their teeth. The left-hand tower getting down to just 4, but Colton and Razor hanging on, still undefeated in 2v2.
By a thread. That was so close. Only 4 HP remaining. When push came to shove, TSM realized they needed to base trade. We saw some amazing combos coming out from Complexity here. The Tornado Fireball, of course, being, I think, going to be a staple in 2v2, but it all came down to this final push.
The Rocket gets the damage, but at 88 HP, just 4 hit points out of the range of the log, and that's all it took for the streak to continue for Colton and Razor.
Absolutely monstrous play from both teams. Despite the fact this is their first day here in the CRL performing on the big stage, TSM looked calm, looked cool. They identified their win condition. They played it out. They didn't get frazzled. And it was so close.
So very close. Really a standout first performance for Firewolf and Air Surfer making their debut here at CRL. And you gotta notice they've spent so much elixir on buildings, getting that mortar down over and over again. Again, we have to wonder, did Vulcan see something or did they see something in the strategy so far of Complexity that they thought worked and it really nearly did?
I mean, the question is now, do they keep going with that or do they switch it up? Do they try and mind game out their opponents? We're gonna find out as we get into game number 2.
Complexity looking to close out set number 1 and moving with the advantage now. Double barrels, little cheeky move, starting fast in both games so far as TSM.
I wonder if we're seeing the bait coming out if you're taking a page out of Team Liquid's book with this one.
We did see that video from Surgical Goblin and Diego B running the table in the 15-win challenge for 2v2. And we haven't seen that so far here at CRL, but now again, smaller, faster decks putting the pressure on their opponents.
Yeah, seeing a lot of pressure right now, pushing this Vulcan towards the mid, getting pressure across the board here as well. Small and fast, this is exactly how they're playing it. Traditionally, we've seen a lot of beatdown archetypes being played, and we're seeing it now again for Complexity, but it doesn't really seem to be where TSM is sitting.
Well, notice, remember, that TSM banned Poison for the duration of 2v2 so far with these small mid-range cards. That's been an excellent ban.
There's the activation on the King Tower, as now we have the Graveyard pushing in with the Golem. This is a combination. We've seen a lot of Will the Freeze come out here as well. There it is! And this is going to be a massive push right now for Complexity. The Golem has reached the tower.
The Log does a good job cleaning up that Graveyard push, but still the right-hand tower for TSM getting hurt pretty bad now, all the way down to 1305.
That was a massive push. Slow and steady wins the race for Complexity. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Pulling out staples that we are now starting to expect in 2v2. The meta is beginning to develop here, but the barrels are just going to continue to fly. Of course, placing that in a different location every time.
Look at the Log play we just saw on the left-hand side. 1 Log, just 2 Elixir, taking out 2 Princesses. That's a nice trade.
That is a solid trade, but we're still seeing the push continuing here. The slight bridge spam elements going to have to be dealt with, constantly cleaned up. And I like this. Keeping the pressure on a beatdown deck is always what you want to do because it will slow them down from building up that elixir, creating the push they want to. If you continue to keep up that pressure, you don't let them sit comfy on their cycle.
Beatdown with a slight advantage over Log Bait, especially as we get into double elixir time, which you've now reached.
We have now reached that DE time, and this is where Complexity is going to look oh so scary having this beatdown. But I have to talk about how critical it was that they used that tornado to activate the King Tower. Now they don't have to worry about these Goblin Barrels. They can focus solely on this push.
And another Golem push with the Graveyard. Backed up this time by the Fireball. The right-hand tower really in danger here for TSM.
The double Goblin gang is getting stuck in the back right now. The push is continuing in. The splash damage from the Golems is going to do so much here. Those Golemites are doing work on the tower. 328 HP remaining. That is 2 Fireballs away from going down.
Great Log play on the right-hand side. Complexity keeping the damage off the tower. TSM fighting to stay in this first set of the match between Complexity and TSM.
Beautiful work coming in from Complexity, getting both those Princesses in there with that tornado. And that is going to be it. GG Complexity taking this game once again, feeling so comfortable in 2v2.
And they are off in the air, flying.
Baby Dragon value.
Razzer and Colton doing it once more. The pair now undefeated 6-0 in 2v2.
But I have to give all the props to Team SoloMid. They still look pretty solid there. They identified what they needed to do. It was just too clean on the defense there. And every single time they committed to this push, damage was done.
And that's the first, this looks like, I think the second Golem freeze. Oh, here's the second Golem freeze push.
Yep.
Got some damage there, but learned a second time around to support a little bit with the spells. You see, we don't have as much of the Goblin gang out there as we saw before, and that's the end of this match, or game.
That was the end of this game. The match is still not done. We still have our 1v1 here coming up here in just a bit. Having a little bit additional pressure there with the spells, having that freeze in play, I think really helped out Complexity. And you have to talk about those tornadoes.
The tornadoes were amazing, especially against such a small, fast bait deck like that. With two King Towers activated, stopping those Goblin Barrels in the back, really big. And now Complexity goes into the 1v1 with the option, with the chance to sew this thing up right now.
The stage is set for an epic 1v1 battle. Just 2 players, under the lights, toe-to-toe, for glory. Team SoloMid and complexity. Send your doulas into the arena!
We start off now, Adrian Piedra taking on Vulcan. Adrian Piedra not having all of the most success here in 1v1, having some unfavorable matchups, and you know he's a competitive guy. He's got a sports background. That's got to dig on him. You know he wants to come in here. He wants to take this match.
But he's got a tough guy in front of him in Vulcan who took first place at King's Cup 2, although paired with 2 fantastic players, of course, the YouTube sensation Clash with Ash, and one of the best players in the world, Surgical Goblin.
But still, that is no mean feat. That is a solid accomplishment here. We are seeing the Valkyrie and the Tornado Band. Rich Slayton, do you think we're going to see some, I don't know, Royal Hogs?
Very possible. 2 cards that are really strong against Royal Hogs. So we've seen it a lot so far. They're big in the meta, and it could be a big part of this game.
I would not be surprised to see those come out right now. Vulcan, of course, is known for memorizing, reading his opponent's strategies. He is a student of the game. Can Adrian Piedra deal with that? We're about to find out.
Vulcan, the strategist, Adrian Piedra, the analytical, a little bit of a BMer. Haven't seen much of that here today. Will he show off if he gets an early lead?
I mean, he's known for his BM, but I mean, it's different when you're literally face-to-face. You're across from the opponent. You're saying, hey, I mean, they're starting off with some laughter. That's what we want to see here in Clash Royale League.
And a slow start so far in this 1v1 set. Both players, oh, and there we go, a hog right at the bridge.
I love it. It's the caster curse. I had a slow start. No, hog instantaneously. Going to get a couple hits here on it. Oh, only finding the one there. The E-Wiz shutting that down. The Ice Golem. So maybe 2.6 hog cycle coming out now from Adrian.
And a really excellent position of the Magic Archer doing damage on the tower from a distance and stopping the Ice Golem.
So starting off now with this, having the Inferno Dragon coming in and the Royal Ghost Magic Archer coming out from Vulcan. This is going to be an interesting matchup.
That Inferno Dragon, though, already in trouble. The Magic Archer doing a ton of work before it leaves the board.
And that's what I love about that Magic Archer. At high levels, the positioning is oh so crucial. There comes the Mega Knight to shut that down. We have to talk about counters to Hogs, and Mega Knight's going to be one of them.
Yeah, with Valkyrie and Tornado Band, you have to wonder how someone might deal with that. Mega Knight, a really great card to have in your deck when you're expecting that. And now we have a Hog versus Hog deck, the Royal Hog versus the classic Hog Rider.
And we are seeing the P.E.K.K.A. coming out now to deal with that Mega Knight. I wonder if that's another heads-up play from Vulcan, because he knows that with these banned off the board, that a good response is Mega Knight, and that P.E.K.K.A. will take it down. So we're seeing the mind game on the mind game on the mind game. 2
of the most analytical players making their mark on this game so far. Very tight as we pass the halfway point of regulation time.
Both of these players just slowly looking to chip away over here. This Royal Ghost, it will do some serious work if left unattended on that tower. Even with the Inferno Dragon blazing it down, that is still a good chunk of damage done.
Adrian Piedra with damage on both towers. Now Vulcan, especially with those Royal Hogs, maybe keeps up the split lane pressure as we get into double elixir time.
I love this, keeping the Zappies and the Hogs together. This is exactly what we expect to see. There's the Fireball to come out and deal with that as well, but still, we are going to get some damage. Splitting these Hogs is absolutely crucial. No matter where you are on the board, you're going to get damage.
So Adrian Piedra playing 2 strong counter cards for the Royal Hog, despite not having Tornado and Valkyrie with the Fireball and the Mega Knight.
I mean, we see those bans. If we know that it's coming, you're going to know that these players are going to be expecting that play as well. We are seeing, a little bit of a late drop on the P.E.K.K.A., so we are going to see a hit connecting onto the tower with that Hog. Traditionally, you like to save the P.E.K.K.A. as the counter to that Hog, and then walk across. Because now, of course, Adrian Piedra, he's got to deal with that.
There is so much on the board right now for Vulcan. Adrian Piedra holding on just by the skin of his teeth here in the final seconds as we go into sudden death overtime.
Both of the towers for Adrian are getting so low. The Mega Knight was dropped to clean that up, but Vulcan has done his damage, has done the work to start this off as we go into overtime. And instantly the response is going to be there. The P.E.K.K.A. tanking up beautifully right there, but we are seeing a full health Inferno Dragon.
And we get the Hog Rider all the way through, backed up by Fireball, doing some serious damage on the right-hand tower. Can Adrian Piedra? That is it! Wow!
The Fireball not connecting onto the Hog on the tower, trying to get so much value, trying to get too much done with that, and that's just the game!
Vulcan had the advantage there in double elixir with P.E.K.K.A. and the Royal Hogs. Really looked like he was going to close this thing out, but Adrian Piedra showing why he's one of the best in the business, getting it done in the first game of set number 2.
Just sneaking it on through. Look at the way that hook just went right on in through the tower. The E-Wiz trying to clean this up, trying to do with it, but a beautiful placement on that fireball to clean it up and not connecting there where you need it right at the end. Oh man, Vulcan not quite finding it. Adrian Piedra.
Well, those Zappies were distracted with that Mega Knight, and that let that Hog to slide right on through. Adrian Piedra with a cerebral, brilliant win here to put his team just one game away from closing this thing out.
Can Vulcan do it here, or will this be the clean sweep for Complexity? That would absolutely solidify them as the top team, the team to beat in North America right now. I'm sure Razzer would love that too, because it would absolutely guarantee that his spree stays alive.
Well, you got to imagine too that Razzer's back starting hurt from carrying so hard. So a little rest for that back might be good, but Adrian Piedra showing why he is on Complexity so far.
Oh yeah, we're seeing all of the goblins coming out now. That bridge spam a little bit in the bait for now for Vulcan as well, just rolling on by. Every single time you see a Dark Goblin, log that thing.
Small, fast, got the bait deck coming down from Vulcan, and the split Zappies in the back for Adrian Piedra.
So standard right now for Adrian. You split the Zappies, and there's the Ram as well. We might see a Bandit coming out with this deck variation. We are going to see it get cleaned. Oh, nice Zap actually almost finding it all the way here. So we are going to see this is pretty standard bridge slam now going to be coming out from Adrian, getting some initial pressure there onto the tower. I like this, but this is a fun variation.
Well, you know, it also did have the motorcycle look. I was about to jump in there, but Vulcan beat me to it. Motorcycle now, we saw how much work the mortar did in the first 2v2 match. Vulcan now bringing out a similar strategy here in 1v1.
So it makes me think, I wonder if you were correct in your assumption that maybe he was helping to bring that mortar play to the 2v2. He's really pushing for this right now because it is going to be getting that shot there, and he is ahead right now in terms of tower HP.
We're reaching the midway point of regulation time. Vulcan has chipped Adrian Piedra's left-hand tower down to 1528 and also has a slight lead on the right-hand side as well.
And Motorcycle does do pretty well up against bridge spam, so we'll see here if Adrian can overcome that right now, because we're going to see a few of these hits. They're just going to continue on to the tower. That chip damage is going to add up.
The deck for Vulcan is just so fast compared to Adrian Piedra's deck, and the ability to get damage on you quickly. So key here in this as we enter into double elixir time.
I mean, and you know, Vulcan has had a good advantage so far in both of these matchups, you know, just finding that outplay in game number 1. But now we are seeing the push continuing here for Adrian Piedra, pushing in here. Oh man, not quite able to find the tower, but we are going to get that damage in from the Royal Ghost.
Adrian making things very close, but the mortar down again. Yet to find an answer for that. So far, the Zappies are a good job distracting. And there we go. We get the Ram. Will it get the hit on? No. A nice 2-spell and Goblin Gang combo keeps it from actually getting the big hit.
The defense is very real right now for Vulcan, trying to keep this mortar pressure up, and it is going to be continuing in the tower. The siege damage will slowly keep pushing in here. The second mortar coming down. The pressure does not stop.
Look at the way he switched the tower location. It seems like a good idea, but the Zappies stopping that in its tracks, but a miner in the back distracted by the E-Wiz. Still really heads-up plays by Vulcan.
Great redirect as the fireball comes in here as well. Only 11 HP remaining. This is all on the back of Adrian Page to respond to this right now. The miner is going to be going in with the log. That is going to be it. Great play from Vulcan.
Again, that's the heads-up cerebral play from Vulcan. Such a smart student of the game. Started college at just 16 years old, already has an AA degree in engineering.
Absolutely impressive, and this was crucial for Team SoloMid. This prevents the sweep coming out from Complexity. Adrian Piedra, though, he still has a chance to close this out in 2 sets, but Vulcan and TSM showing life.
Big plays from Vulcan at the bridge, keeping those mortars alive, not worried about getting 3 or 4 hits, just 1 hit, 2 hits here and there. That's all it took. Vulcan sending us to a 3rd game in the 2nd set. Can Complexity Gaming close this thing out right now, or will TSM send us to King of the Hill?
We're about to find out. Of course, you've got to get the Q and the P.E.K.K.A. You've got to get it onto that mortar. That's part of your win condition right there. Really just a bad situation for Adrian. That whole time the mortar was able to go through, just couldn't quite find it. Finding gaps in the cycle, constantly keeping up the pressure was Vulcan. That's what this guy is known for. He is a student of the game. He is an analytical master for a reason, fully knowing what Adrian was bringing to the table.
Despite having the tough matchup, Adrian Piedra making it interesting, nearly getting that win, but he did not. So here we are, the third and final game of set number 2. Can he close it out, or will we see King of the Hill?
Game number 3 is underway. Can TSM take us to the ace match, or will it be complexity in 2 quick sets? Adrian Piedra is looking to close this out. And again, he hasn't had all of the most success so far in the 1v1 format. He has traditionally done pretty well. Of course, he's sitting after Razor. I should say he's sitting after Razor in this King of the Hill format, so he hasn't had to do a darn thing.
Yeah, but he's done his work so far, and looking here to put his stamp on CRL in this 1v1. A zap to cycle for Vulcan, but both players sitting back. No one wants to make the first move and make the first mistake.
Just cycling up that zap. Probably a bit of a cheap rotation cycle deck coming in right now from Vulcan. So I like the fact that Adrian not just instantly going to respond, he's still going to wait, still going to play it patient, because we saw in game number 1, all it takes is one mistake to spell absolute disaster at this level of play.
2 tournament standouts, of course, Adrian Piedra, the CCGS World Finalist. But don't forget, across from him, Vulcan, not only getting 8th at the CCGS 17 Invitational, but also first place at the King's Cup, too.
Of course, you know, we're here, game number 3 of our second set. Complexity taking it 2-0 in King of the Hill. TSM has only taken 1 game in the series so far. They're going to look to take a second and take us on to that King of the Hill. And I mean, personally, I'm kind of excited because we might see the King Killer play again.
Both players waiting a long time to see what happens. Looks like they're waiting for double elixir time.
Both perfectly content to just sit back and wait, which means both of them feel comfortable going into that double elixir time. I like this. This definitely speaks to the confidence of these players, knowing that, look, when things go crazy, we can go off.
And we are just moments away. I expect a lot of things happening here in about 5 seconds. Probably will see this thing kick off.
Hey!
There we go.
There we go. And an instant ram on the other side to respond. That's what you want to see with the Zappies, to back it up. It is going to connect onto the tower here. So this is a really solid push from Vulcan. Of course, we'll have to respond to that Lava Hound, but that's about the best you could ask for on that left-hand push. The Lava Loon, though, needs to be answered.
Lava Loon on the right-hand side. We did see some great work. You know, we've seen Zappies split in the back most of the time. There's a fireball. The balloon not going to make it. But again, oh, wow.
Pushing the E-Wiz back into the bomb. Oh, man, that fireball placement was absolutely amazing. Cleaning that up completely, though. An amazing defense from Vulcan. What was still a sick play from Adrian, though. An even better defense from Vulcan.
Adrian Piedra hoping to close this thing out, but Vulcan not making it easy. Doing some heads-up plays on both the offensive and defensive side of the board.
The Ran is going to go through with the fireball there as well. The P.E.K.K.A. getting distracted by that tombstone. The Magic Archer there to deal with that Lava Hound. A lot of damage already being done as we head to sudden death. The balloon to follow, Rich.
Can Vulcan hold off this balloon? Looks like he will. So much electricity stopping it in its tracks. And just 489 on the left-hand tower. Distraction for the E-Wiz, not going to get it here, but he is so close to sending this to King of the Hill.
The Magic Archer is there, the tower, the splash damage is going to be going through that Mega Minion, doing his team a disservice as the Lava Hound is going to continue to push in. The Bandit, the Ram is there as well. The Bridge Spam coming out in true force for Vulcan. Can it connect? The Fireball is there as well.
Cleaning up the middle, but not going to get on that left-hand tower, holding on by just 297. And now the balloon making a nice look at the tower for Vulcan. Can Adrian Piedra close this thing out? A fireball in support.
The Zappy's not quite in range. They need to slow this thing down. Will it connect? Yes, it does. The follow-up is there. The bomb is going to drop with the fireball as well for Adrian, but that is still going to be at 40 HP remaining.
And that is it. Vulcan sending us to King of the Hill. Wow, unbelievable play. We saw that opening sequence was so critical. We saw him drop the ram at the bridge, and usually we've seen Zappy split in the back, but no, here he puts it right there and opens up the door, getting that opening salvo.
half-healthing the tower to start off this push. That was absolutely critical. This was exactly what we expected to see from Vulcan, and he just had a beautiful response. The lava loom was there, but having just so many of those mini stuns, having the E-Wiz, having the Zappies, slowing down that Air Force, and the Magic Archer, a card that we had, it has mixed effect, being the true MVP here in this matchup.
Vulcan celebrating up there in your left-hand corner. You know he is excited, sending this to King of the Hill. He nearly made a big mistake. He needed to cycle those fireballs just a little bit earlier, but he was able to capitalize, send this thing through. But now, the reality is you've gone out of the fire, out of the frying pan into the fire, because next up you have Colton, and I'm expecting we'll see Razor in that number 2 spot.
Colton's traditionally gone first. We'll see if they switch this up. Of course, King of the Hill, both teams bring out 3 players. Each of those players have 1 life. It is a best of 5. First to 3 wins takes it. So we will see if the trend will continue where complexity decides the King of the Hill is where they shine.
We're going to take a moment now to look inside the war rooms as the teams are setting their lineups.
Make sure you know what decks you're running. Do not run a band card.
Yeah, I
Okay?
know.
Do not run a
Have they
band
told us
card.
a band card?
Listen to us if
We
you
also don't know their band.
Ready? All right. I picked Air Server first because we want to go strong first game, and you have a really aggressive playstyle while also being really defensive. So it'll be a good fit for the first game. And then the second person, Vulcan, you wanted to go second, so that's why I'm putting you second. But more importantly, you like to scout out the opponents and just kind of think what you want to run. So you're going to be a really good fit at number 2. And number 3, we have our unpredictable player, Firewolf, who's been training a lot. And everybody thinks they know what you're going to run, but we as a team know you're going to run other stuff. So let's do it, boys. Stay calm, focus in the game, and let's make TSM proud.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Listen, we've been here before, all right? This is our edge. King of the Hill is our set, okay? Let's not forget that. Let's not forget who we are. We're going in the same order. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to beat TSM here, okay? We know what we're doing, guys. Colton, you're going up first, man.
Yep.
Don't let Razor get a sweep this week. Razor. All right. You're 0-0 in 1v1. All right. Don't let it get to your head. Got to go out here and execute every single game, dude. Every single game. And Adrian, you're our anchor, man. You're our anchor, buddy. All right. Let's go do this. We're banning Miner. We're going to take this away from them. We're going to get an edge in this set. Let's go take it, guys. Let's go take it. All right. Bring it in. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Complexity!
TSM and Complexity have given this game their royal best, even putting my favorites, the Royal Hogs, into play there. Oh, I love Royal Hogs. I even have a Hog Rider in me Royal contract. Anyway, TSM and Complexity, let's decide this with King of the Hill.
It's time for the third and final set, King of the Hill. Remember, the first team to 3 wins this match.
It's all going to come down to this. TSM were able to rally in the 1v1, but will the streak stay alive for Complexity? Colton going up against Air Surfer to start this off.
No surprise here for Complexity's lineup with Razor there in the middle where he's done so fantastic so far. Look at our banned cards. Royal Hogs banned by TSM and Miner banned by Complexity.
That's a fun ban coming out from Complexity. I mean, we've seen a lot of Miner cycle. We've seen a lot of control with the mortar as well. And that's a lot of stuff that you have to have that Miner, or you like to have that Miner in there. So taking that out of play for Complexity, I think that's going to be a big hit towards TSM.
TSM does like those siege decks. Of course, also now no Zap retarget if the balloon comes out. So a lot of options off the table with the Miner out of the picture. King of the Hill is starting right now.
Game number 1 of King of the Hill. Air Surfer going up against Colton. Colton hasn't had the most luck in these opening 1v1s. They have been nail biters, though, every single time. He's looking for redemption right here. He doesn't even want to give Razor a chance to break that streak.
Colton looking for his first win in King of the Hill, but remember, he has so much experience in these positions, and a big mistake early on.
Oh no, missing that initial tornado. Yeah, I hate to see it. That is not the way you want to start this off. The Giant is marching in already with the poison there as well. And the Zap to clean that up. This is going to be a whole lot of damage to start things off from Colton. It doesn't get any better than that.
The poison Zap combination prevents the the Inferno Dragon from hitting that third gear, and now the left-hand tower of Air Surfer already down to 353 with just a minute done.
Now, I was going to say, the most BM thing known to man is somehow Colton decided this was the chance to put a Tornado in his deck, and not only that, but in fact pull that Royal Ghost over to his King Tower, just be like, yo, I see you, I'm going to do it better.
Let's go! And now another big hit. Oh, left-hand tower is down. Colton out to an early lead here to open up King of the Hill.
An uncharacteristic misplay coming out from Air Surfer, not having that bowler in place to take the swing there. 2 mistakes to start this off. Air Surfer, maybe the jitters of being on the big stage are starting to get to him.
Colton's been here before. Air Surfer, a ladder standout, but not a lot of live tournament play.
This is now where you're seeing Colton starting to shine. He is fully in control of this game, already having the first Princess Tower down. He is feeling oh so comfortable. I like the fact that Air Surfer is keeping up the pressure here in this lane, forcing Colton to respond, taking his eyes off of his right tower, but this is still, all the onus is on Air Surfer. He needs to be the one to make all the plays.
But he is showing a possible Splash Yard deck. Graveyard never out of it, even in the final seconds. So even though Colton has that big lead, there very well could be a huge chance for Air Surfer to get back in this one.
Yeah, when we've seen a couple mistakes already happening here, if Colton somehow flubs, if the choke comes out, there is a possibility for this now. Poison's being played for both sides, slowly whittling down this tower for Colton, but it might be too little too late.
Colton getting the poison out in front armor. If we are seeing Graveyard, needs to get that poison back in cycle. It's one of his best counters to that card if it does come down on his tower.
We are now seeing the push coming in from Air Surfer, slowly whittling down, trading positive on these elixirs is exactly what we need to do. There is the GY, as you call, the Graveyard is there with the poison to follow up as well. This is a big push now from Air Surfer.
But Colton, the master elixir counter, getting that back in cycle, and now he does take care of the Graveyard, but can he stop the Inferno Dragon before it takes his tower, and that's the zap to set it off. There we go. Colton is going to get his first win in King of the Hill.
Perfect predictions, perfect read there from Colton's off of the backs of a few mistakes. As you said, he needed to get that poison back in hand to deal with the Graveyard. The second it dropped, he had the answer, and it all started right there.
The first misplay of the Tornado, not pulling the Royal Ghost, not getting the King Tower activation. But here we go, the even bigger one in some ways. The bowler getting played behind the tower, not getting there in time to stop the Royal Ghost from taking that thing down. That with 2 big moments, and you can't do that against a guy like Colton.
And we're seeing the curse being broken now as Colton is taking the first game here in King of the Hill, going up now against Vulcan. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Traditionally, we talk about the anchor positioning, holding up the back. Vulcan, one of the strongest players on TSM. They're instead deciding to put him in the middle. What do you think about that, Rich?
Well, maybe taking a page out of the book from Complexity, which has the King Killer Razor in that second spot. They're saying, hey, you know what? We have a guy who can do it too. Vulcan up second. Now against Colton here in King of the Hill.
Let's go, Colton!
Game number 2 is underway. Vulcan taking on Colton. Colton trying to create a streak of his own here. I mean, so far, Razor's he's been doing work in King of the Hill, but of course, this is a powerhouse lineup for Complexity, and already we're seeing the response coming out from Vulcan.
A nice poison to open up for Vulcan, but maybe a bit of bait there because now the Graveyard in the back for Colton.
Instantly dropping the Graveyard as well, traditionally. Of course, you want to use, as we saw earlier, you want to use that poison to counter out that Graveyard. The E-Wiz, though, going to make short work of that, so not a whole lot of damage there being done from Colton.
The log keeps the E-Wiz off the tower, almost a minute down. Colton with a slight lead on the right-hand side.
Just chipping away here. Neither one of these players showing a whole lot. Just keeping a pretty basic, simple pace so far. Neither one wants to overcommit because we saw what happens. One little mistake in a matchup of this level can spell disaster.
And the poison used offensively again to go up against that Furnace. But, you know, the question's going to be, how does that play up against the Graveyard there again on the left-hand side?
And this is going to be an interesting decision because Vulcan, again, knows that Graveyard is coming, but he feels comfortable defending it without the poison, which means that he knows he needs to trade positive. He needs to get more chip damage with that poison himself if he wants to create and maintain a tempo lead.
We have not seen the win condition yet from Vulcan, though. Looks like double Graveyard. I was just leading up to that. There we go. And again, the E-Wiz now doing work for Colton to defend against that Graveyard.
And the counter poison coming out here as well. So far we're seeing almost a mirror matchup for both of these players. Slight variations, though, as we're seeing the Furnace trading out with the Tombstone there. That's a fun variation from Colton.
And the tornado now, an activation of the King Tower. Vulcan heads up play with a tornado.
There we go. That is the key activation that they were looking for as we head into double elixir time. That might play a big factor here as both of these players, the way these win conditions work, having the King Tower active against the graveyard, that's so crucial.
And a Furnace again, this one staying alive. Vulcan not committing the poison, instead opting to go graveyard in the right lane.
We are seeing the response as well coming down now. Colton can be cleaning that up with the poison there. And of course, got a reminder here on our ban cards, the Miner and Royal Hogs not going to be in play for this set. And there's a Mega Knight being dropped for Vulcan.
You know, the person who will get out the lead here will probably be the one who dictates how poison is used. If you can make your opponent use it on defense more rather than tower, open up your option and see there. Now we see Vulcan getting the poison on tower, not in conjunction with the graveyard, but that's going to be probably the difference here is who makes better use of that card. That
is going to be a big factor here. Oops coming out now from Vulcan. There's going to be the response with the Mega Knight, though. That is going to be quite a bit of damage coming through from those skeletons.
Cannon cart nearly getting through, the Vulcan stopping it, but the damage is done on the right-hand side. Colton now in sudden death overtime, ahead by about 300 hit points.
Having both of these furnaces down, keeping up the pressure now from Colton. This is going to be big, keeping up that pressure on the right-hand tower. Pretty much even across the board, though, from both these players. Having that King Tower activated from Vulcan might be the difference maker there, and a beautiful poison from Colton.
And the Fire Spirits doing a little bit to chip away at the Mega Knight, and again keeping him distracted, but a nice tornado point him in, and that's a beautiful move, making room for the Mega Knight to get that leap.
That was absolutely massive, under 1,000 HP. Of course, Colton already taking game number 1 here, looking to make it 2 games in a row as he's looking to just set up once again. This double Furnace play is going to be massive. Watch this, he's constantly having to respond to these Fire Spirits.
But we do get the offensive poison from Vulcan. Again, the Cerebral player making slight adjustments as the game goes on, looking to put down Colton and get the first one in the King of the Hill for TSM.
Oh, Cannon Cart finding a couple hits there onto the tower as well. That was a solid defense, though, from Vulcan. Taking a little bit of damage on that tower, but that Cannon Cart, that could have been disastrous. Solid defense from him.
Colton leading on the left-hand side of the board, but Vulcan with the big lead, the right-hand tower, really in that danger zone, 766, just a couple hits away from being within spell kill range.
Pulling the Mega Knight into the mid, and once again, we're seeing that cannon, oh man, doing so much work, ripping through the left tower. And now Vulcan is going to be the one to be aggressive once more. But these Ewiz is doing such a great job of slowly whittling that down with the poison there as well, though. This could be huge. Countering as well is Colton on the left-hand side, pulling it back, slowing down this push.
Down to 81 on the right-hand side is Colton, but making his own push on the left. It's a race to see who can finish this thing off. It's looking like Vulcan, though, might be able to pull this one out.
Yes.
There's the poison. That's probably going to be it. Yes, it is.
Vulcan taking this game, tying up the series 1-1, taking down Colton. A few plays here and there were the huge deciding factors. How they were choosing to use their graveyards, how they were choosing to time out those poisons when they were doing it. And it all came down to, like, it started with an amazing play like this.
That King Tower activation, so huge. You know, you don't think of the Ewiz as being an activating card, but there it is. And it all came down to who got the poison on the offensive side of the board. Vulcan made it happen, taking out Colton. But now he's up against a guy looking to keep a 6-game 1v1 streak alive, currently sitting at 12 overall games in a row. Here comes the King Killer himself, Razor.
12-0 win streak, and still looking oh so calm going up against Vulcan. This is going to be an amazing match. Vulcan has looked unstoppable all day.
Now, here's a really big question. We have seen Razor now play so much. There's been 6 1v1 matches for Vulcan to look at, and he is known for studying and memorizing his opponent's decks and cycles and play styles. Does he have enough information here that he's got Razor's number?
I think it's a strong possibility. I think if there's anybody we're going to see take down Razor right now with the momentum that Vulcan is carrying after these amazing games so far today, I think it's going to be right here, right now. I think this one might be one of the toughest challenges that Razor has faced so far as we are getting into this game.
And looking like Splash Yard. Maybe we'll see some graveyard action. And now a great King Tower activation from Razor, letting the Royal Ghost get all the way and then tornadoing it.
Now activating the King tower on his own. The Ram is going to drop. Great bait there with the Ice Golem as well. Going to be distracting that Lumberjack, but still quite a bit of damage getting through here for Vulcan to start this off, taking down half the tower HP, especially with that Magic Archer in the back.
Seeing a nasty bridge spam play from Vulcan up top, looking like it's going to be Splash Yard on the bottom for Razor.
So this is going to be an interesting matchup here as the Royal Ghost is marching on through. You cannot allow any more additional hits to go through. There's, of course, going to be the Skeletons to slow that down. And having that King Tower activated is so crucial. Look at how clean that defense was. What a nice trade.
And here we go. There's the Graveyard on the left-hand side, forcing a response. The Lumberjack very fast, able to take care of many of those Skeletons, but damage is being done on the left-hand side for Razor.
Lumberjack and Inferno Dragon, not exactly the fastest cleanup crew when it comes to that graveyard, but look at the pressure coming out. The bridge spam is oh so real. These Skeletons plus the log going to be cleaning that up, but a nice zap as well from Vulcan.
And the Barbarians almost making it, but the Ice Wiz getting down in time. Razor making some adjustments. Really good defense so far on his side, notwithstanding that first initial spammy push.
The ace defense there from Razor, not taking a single hit of HP as we get into this double elixir time. How is he going to deal with this right now? The Magic Archer, of course, nice positioning on that Ice Wizard, going to be stopping. And look at the way it's just distracting that Magic Archer just a little bit longer. Still, the damage is finding a way to reach the tower, though. Vulcan has Razor on the back step.
Brilliant Magic Archer play from Vulcan, getting so much damage both on troops and on the tower. Now as we reach the last 30 seconds, putting that right-hand tower in real significant danger.
This could be it. This could be the moment we finally see the streak end. Vulcan is looking fully in control of this game. A few more hits onto this tower, and that is going to be it with the pressure keeping up right now from Vulcan. Razor's on the back foot.
Remember, the Graveyard, though, can change things in the blink of an eye. Tornado getting that Lumberjack mostly out of the way, but not quite doing enough. It is really looking like Vulcan might be the one to end it. There's the fireball, and that is it.
Vulcan taking the game, taking TSM up 2-1 in King of the Hill and ending the streak. The King Killer has unfortunately fallen for complexity, but you have to feel good if you're TSM when you look at the last match up against Cloud9, taking down Seema Q, Baron, and Wings back to back to back. That is the win streak that Razor is coming off of, but Vulcan says no.
Can Vulcan pull a Razor himself, taking down Colton, taking down Razor, and now he has one member of Complexity left. It's all up to Adrian Piedra.
Oh, hey, Adrian Piedra playing King of the Hill, something he hasn't actually done yet because he hasn't needed to. Razor has carried those wins every single time, and now it is up to him. He hasn't had a lot of success so far in the 1v1, but maybe King of the Hill, slight variation of the format, that best of one. Maybe this is the time to pull it out.
Vulcan owning the win in their 1v1 set. Now Adrian Piedra looking to get that back. Can he take out the King's Cup 2 champion? Can he extend this match for his team? Or will Vulcan close things out right here, right now?
Let's go, Poppy.
Go, Adrian.
Well, Rich, we're about to find out as we get into this next game. One more win, and Team SoloMid will take the win here over Complexity. Complexity, who has looked so strong so far in the CRL. This is TSM's first time up on the big stage, and Vulcan is making big plays.
Remember that Miner and Royal Hogs are your ban cards. Neither will make an appearance here, and we see an early poison now from Adrian.
Coming out now from Adrian, going to be shutting down that tombstone. Not a whole lot revealed, but we do actually see the Lava Hound being dropped up in the back. The Night Witch here as well, so might be seeing some variations of beatdown from both sides. Wouldn't be surprised to see a golem from Adrian.
Looks like a traditional Lava Loon, and there we go, the balloon behind the Lava Hound. Very standard deck play here from Vulcan, going classic.
Going classic. A nice tornado, though, to pull this back. Will the balloon reach? No, it does not. But still, a lot of damage going to be dropped here onto this initial left-hand tower. The Lava Loon push in full effect.
And looking like a potential golem beatdown deck from Adrian Piedra up against this Lava Loon.
I mean, we see two traditional archetypes. You're going to see Golem beatdown up against Lava Loon. These are two decks that you would expect to see run into on the ladder. So now I guess we're going to see how you beat them.
And a push developing on the right-hand side for Adrian Piedra. So far, nice, patient defense from Vulcan. You know, you got to think the Golem probably has an advantage here just because of the HP and the Tornado in that deck. So devastating when you're trying to play that balloon.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough for Vulcan to deal with right now as we're already seeing this Golem advancing towards the tower. And look at the support still existing behind it right now. We do have the Lava Hound reaching the tower on the left-hand side, but watch how fast the tower of Vulcan falls.
Vulcan getting all the way through that tower and onto the King's Tower. Still plenty of troops on the board in enemy territory, chipping away. Soon that King Tower will be down to about the same level as a Princess Tower, really giving Adrian the chance to pressure his opponent.
This is going to be near impossible for Vulcan to come back to, but if there is a shot, this is going to be the guy to do it with the momentum that he has built up so far today. There is an opportunity for him to make this happen. He needs to do it right now, but this is going to be a very tough setup for him.
And the cards that needed in cycle, not there for Adrian Piedra. That balloon getting that thing all the way down. This is probably going to be a 3-crown race here, folks.
They are pushing in, though, right now, and the Lava Hound is there, pushing it onto the King Tower, but look at the push being mounted on the left-hand side. Vulcan is in full retreat right now. Watch how fast that tower is falling. It's going to be down in an instant.
Forget the 3 crowns. The left Princess Tower goes down. That looks like it is going to be the match. Now, Vulcan going all the way. I mean, Adrian Piedra going all the way to put a stamp on this thing. Yes, doesn't get the 3 crown, does get the victory, and he has extended his team's life with beautiful play from the Golem Beatdown deck.
2-2 right now, going down to our last match here. The last possible game in our King of the Hill format off of some amazing play from Adrian Piedra. This was a tough matchup for Vulcan, and Adrian played it perfectly.
And now just down to 1 player is Team SoloMid with the confident Canadian coming out, Firewolf.
Firewolf literally getting off the plane the last 24 hours, coming down here to the Clash Royale League. And he needs to go clutch for his team. He is the anchor, the young 16-year-old, going to make some big plays here for his squad.
This is it. This is match point, ladies and gentlemen. Firewolf consulting with his team, talking to Vulcan, the strategist, figuring out how do I beat a man like Adrian Piedra?
I mean, that's a big question we're about to find out right now. Firewolf is taken to the stage. Look at the hugs coming out right now. Adrian Piedra, he's all smiles as we get into our last game of this match.
Let's go, Adrian.
Let's go.
It all comes down to this, folks. 1 game to decide this match. Will it be the Crown Championship Global Series World Finalist Adrian Piedra or the multiple-time top 10 finisher on the ladder, Firewolf?
I mean, it takes a lot of dedication to reach not just number 1 on the ladder, but also 5th and 8th and 21st, respectively. That is a serious pedigree when it comes to ladder play, and we'll see if it translates here in the competitive format.
Ice Wiz in the back for the confident Canadian Firewolf. Adrian Piedra just choosing to sit back and defend for the moment.
He's just chilling out right now. We are going to see the Night Witch coming out, so maybe running the exact same deck that we just saw. It worked for him here, and part of the reason why Adrian has so much success with this is that he identifies his win condition, and he never varies. He never strays. He knows exactly what it will take for him to win, and he knows, fuck, I need to sack this tower, I'll sack this tower happily because I know I'm going for the win.
Firewolf showing some, yeah, there we go, Splash Yard coming in, the cannon cart also making it all the way through and getting on a tower. Wow, that left-hand tower is getting chewed up right now.
Getting absolutely destroyed. That is going to be at the first push from Firewolf, finding success here on the left-hand side. But we do have the Golem still marching down the lane for Adrian Piedra. This is going to be clutch. The defense needs to be real. Tornadoes on tornadoes. We're moving everyone around. We're playing ping pong.
But there is so much on the board right now for Adrian Piedra. Now his turn to take a tower down. This graveyard variation, though, still very dangerous in every moment of this game.
Oh, but watch this. The second the Lumberjack falls and the Rage gets into play, we're going to see some additional hits coming in. That is a lot of damage onto the King Tower. Both these players trading out early right now, knowing exactly what they need to do to win. The cannon cart, though, nice block with the Night Witch.
That tornado play by Firewolf not doing its job. Just in the wrong position. Now Adrian Piedra with a minute left in this match looking to put this thing away.
It all comes down to this final game. Whoever wins this will take the series here. Both of these players have a lot on the line. Their hopes and dreams of their teammates are there with them as well. The Zap going to look to clean up a few more of these skeletons here, but the Graveyard is doing a lot of work, but still the push is being mounted. Going for the 3 crown is Adrian Piedra.
Everything is in Adrian Piedra's hands right now. Can he extend Complexity's record to 3 wins and no losses, or will Firewolf clutch this thing and give TSM their first victory here at Clash Royale League?
First time in the building, first time on the board. That is exactly what Team SoloMid wants here. But Adrian Piedra is looking to say no. The push is still here. A second golem in the back. The pressure is not letting up.
He has to be careful here, though. He needs to make sure he has one of those cards. Now, look, Adrian Piedra has so many cards that can counter that graveyard. The splash damage of the baby dragon, the lumberjack is quick enough to help. Of course, the tornado and zap. He really wants to get himself on the offensive side of the board here.
But the splash here now trying to just whittle this down, but the HP bar of that golem is still looking solid. And the counter tornado here, once that golem falls, if he can get in range, this King Tower is still just going to get chunked right now. Watch how fast this is going to drop. The poison is there to try and slow this down, but this might be it, Rich.
This is probably going to happen right now. We get the lumberjack hitting, going to drop a little bit of rage, down under 500 hit points just, and we think that's going to be it. Yes! Adrian Piedra gets vindication after losing 1v1. Clutching things for Complexity, sending them to the top already. They are now 3-0. The podium is down. There is pandemonium here in the studio. Unbelievable play. Complexity showing why they are the team to beat right now in Clash Royale League.
The hype is real for Complexity. Oh man, they're just going off right now. They're feeling it. They're 3-0, top of the leaderboards. Team SoloMid put up an amazing series of games.
Look, you look at a team like this, and we've seen the run of Razor now come to an end, but look at who else you have on this team, and it's Adrian Piedra who closes it out. He loses that tower early, but he knew he had this thing. As soon as he saw Graveyard, he was like, look, I have Golem beatdown. I know how to play this. I have the counters. And he gets the 3-crown victory, puts this thing away, gets in the win column. Great work, Adrian Piedra.
Second he hits double, looks at Tommy, he's like, that's fine. I know my win conditions. I know how I make this work. He played it out. And again, that is the mark of this player. He never sways in his convictions, knowing exactly how he wins the game.
Adrian Piedra, the hero of today's match. Standing by to get his thoughts is Christy St. John.
Thanks, guys. Adrian, you had some rough matchups starting out, so how does it feel to get some redemption?
Well, feels nice to be honest that, well, finally I can help my team with something. Well, at least in the King of the Hill, because in the 1v1, well, I didn't win yet, but, well, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying, keep training more, and well, that's what I need.
Absolutely. And in the King of the Hill, your opponents made some major mistakes. Tell me how you capitalized on those.
Well, basically in the golem matchup, in the last one, was more tough because I had Fireball and I can't counter the graveyard. But well, when I just get the tower trade, it was like, okay, I just need to have lead. He wastes the poison, so I just take advantage of that and I use my Mega Minion, my baby, and then I just nade all it.
I am learning so much. It was great to talk to you, Adrian.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Christy. Fantastic play one more time by Adrian Piedra, giving his team their 3rd victory. Let's take a look at the North American standings.
Well, the North American standings are all about Complexity. 3-0 to start off the season, leaving a trail of teams in their wake. The top 4 spot looking, still pretty open, though. Of course, Rich, it's still early.
It's still early. Lots of teams left to play. Remember, 14 games for each team in our league. The best 4 will make it, of course, into those playoffs, looking for a spot in the World Finals. And next up, 2 more teams looking to make their mark on CRL North America.
100 Thieves going up against Tribe Gaming, 2 North American favorites here, I want to say. Both of these teams have had a lot of fun games so far, and both are looking to take each other down. I would say these are going to be a lot of evenly matched games here, so I'm really pumped to see who's going to come out on top.
Ha-ha! Our second match today is ready to begin, and this one should be a good time. Pure Frost have their dancing shoes on, as 100 Thieves hunts for their very first win in the CRL. In their path, Canadian star B-Rad, Oxalate, and the formidable Tribe Gaming. Let's go!
The second match of Day 4 in North America on its way. Tribe Gaming against 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves and Tribe. This is going to be an awesome match. Both of these teams have had some success and have also stumbled.
So for 100 Thieves, of course, we have Eddie and Frost, PT105 making an appearance at King of the Hill, and of course, the always likable Piedra.
Oh yeah, but on the other side, we have Tribe Gaming, Oxalate, J-Monty, B-Rad, and King Zhao is joining us now in the CRL.
And standing by with one of the standout players, 400 Thieves, Chrissy St. John, is with Eddie.
Thanks, guys. Eddie, the last time you were on this stage, you beat Skills from ZLG 2-1 in an awesome 1v1 match where you basically threw the first game, I assume, to figure out his deck. Can you tell me about the strategy?
I definitely threw the first game. Like, I totally had him, but, you know, I wanted to give them a chance for that 1v1 set. Coming into the 2v2 set, coming into the second and third games, obviously I was like, all right, I got to pull out the Barbarians. It's exactly what I did, and it cut him off guard, you know. He had like 5 elixirs to defend a monstrous push. And they didn't see it coming. I threw it out there, and that was the game plan that day.
Absolutely. So do we get to see anything more crazy for today?
I'll probably play more comfort decks today, simply because last time it was like nerve jitters and stuff, you know. I was like, drop one more game, and it's game over for 100 Thieves. So I just had to pull it through, and that's what I did.
Absolutely. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Christy. Before we get into the action, let's take a look at our match format.
We're going to start off with our 2v2. After that, we'll go into the 1v1. And then once again, if we so need it, maybe we'll get more exciting King of the Hill. Of course, each of these different sets has their own unique set of card bans. Those will update for each and every set.
The teams are almost ready to do battle. Right now, they're setting their lineups. Let's go inside the war rooms.
So guys, we're ready for today. Monty and Ox, you're going to start the 2v2. Please, you're already set with the decks. You already know what you're going to play. Play offensively, play aggressive, be careful with all the defenses. Don't start over-aggressive if you don't have the cards to defend. Piedra, you're up next. I know you're ready. You're going to play those NATO decks. I know you got it.
Strong control decks.
Yeah, and in the case of King of the Hill, Joe's going to start. I trust you, man. We got this.
Let's go. Let's go, Joe.
Woo! Woo!
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo!
For 2v2, I definitely say we could go like double mirror.
Double mirror.
We could mirror anything really, and then we could do Barbarian Barrel and Barb Hut. They would mirror
the elite barbs.
Tribe and 100 Thieves have done all they can to prepare in their war rooms. Now, they put talk aside and battle with their fingers. 2v2 combatants, it's time to dance!
The first set of this matchup about to begin. Both teams running back the same lineups they had in their previous matches.
Pure Frost making an appearance here once again. We'll see if the calm, quiet play of Piedra and the aggression of Frost will pay off, or if it will be Jay, Monty, and Oxalate once again coming out and having a strong performance.
Coming off a big-time sweep of Immortals, those two guys really must be feeling it right now. And take a look at our card bans here for this 2v2.
Looks like we're going to have Tornado being banned for both sides. This is going to open up a lot more options, which means Poison is still on the board, Rocket's still on the board. Well, maybe we'll see some more traditional beatdown styles coming in now, but of course, Tornado, it's such a versatile card.
Versatile, but not going to be in the match here, or in this set here, but so many spells still on the board. Lots of spell spam as a possibility. Piedra, a great beatdown player. Will we see him use Golem in this 2v2 matchup?
We're about to find out, Rich, as we get into game number 1, set number 1. Tribe Gaming taking on 100 Thieves.
Tribe at the top of your screen and 100 Frost at the bottom, or 100 Thieves.
100 Frost.
100 Frost. So much Frost on the board.
Piedra, of course, he's known for that double elixir time golem beatdown specialization. Look at the synergy playing down that he was pushing on through that golem. That is the speediest golem that ever did try.
And the Inferno Tower down for 100 Thieves. Probably going to make quick work of the Lava Hound. Yes, it does.
The bats there as well to help clean this up. Solid defense. So now we're seeing the push continue. The Golemites finding their way to the tower. So positive trade for 100 Thieves to start this off, but a good cleanup coming in from Tribe.
It looks like, is that flying machine? Yes, it will get picked up. Now the Inferno Tower really paying off dividends.
Really paying off now, and we're only seeing that first initial chip coming in from Tribe Gaming, dropping that Lava Hound once more. Both again playing what is becoming one of the standard archetypes that we are seeing in 2v2. The classic beatdown, having that Lava Hound in the air, going to be pushing in, and there's the balloon as well. We're seeing Lava Balloon.
The balloon now again getting aggroed by the Inferno Tower, but the Lava Hound doing its job, getting in the way, and a beautiful freeze spell played here by Tribe Gaming.
That freeze was absolutely huge. The Zap is there trying to deny the balloon, but it shall not be denied as it is hitting there onto the tower. What a beautiful push coming in from Tribe Gaming. I did not see that freeze coming.
But don't ignore the Royal Ghost played to cycle on the left-hand side, did so much damage. The left tower for J. Monty and Oxlet down to 1238.
Yeah, that Royal Ghost as well being left totally up to its own devices, eventually getting cleaned up. We were all so focused on that push in the bottom right that we didn't notice it doing massive work there as well. So nicely done from 100 Thieves, able to slip that in onto the radar.
You know, you got to think Tribe was letting that one go, possibly to the confidence of getting the tower down on the right-hand side, but good defense by 100 Thieves, keeping that tower alive. And we are fairly even, although 100 Thieves also has good damage on the right-hand side as we go into double elixir time.
Both teams playing down this structure here, looking to try and distract the aggressors. The Golem is going to be taking down that tombstone, but once again, the balloon is making contact, and this right-hand tower is getting so low. It looks like we're seeing a tower trade.
With the tombstone being the only building for Tribe, it does give 100 Thieves a slight advantage, and right now you're seeing a little bit of a lead being put out here by Frost and Piedra.
Well, only furthering that advantage right now. Look at the damage the Golemites are putting in onto that King Tower. 100 Thieves looking oh so solid here in game number 1. An aggressive Lava Hound being dropped, but instantly going to be answering it with that Inferno Tower.
Really great play of the Inferno Tower with 100 Thieves so far. It's been a good answer most of the way through this first game of set number 1.
Absolute bedlam breaking out over the river right now as the Golemites are shoving their way on through the Royal Ghost here as well. But you got to watch that Lava Hound on the left. At some point, that will have to be dealt with. The Air Force coming in right now for Tribe. They are launching an all-out assault.
And a high poison played by 100 Thieves. It will pick up the Mega Minion, but do they have an answer? And there we go across the bridge. Really brilliant play with the Inferno Tower. I don't know if it'll quite be enough, but we'll see if they have an answer to stop that balloon.
It was a really nice play in theory, but now with the freeze coming in, no, the Zap is enough to deny it. So the play does pay dividends here for 100 Thieves, just pulling it right on back, pull a full 180 and not able to make it to that Princess Tower.
Will we see a Golem in the pocket here trying to get an aggressive push against that King Tower and the Princess Tower both down low? But I don't think so. We have to defend against this push coming on the left-hand side.
I love this having just a slightly faster cycle. It feels like Tribe was just able to keep up the pressure here. The Ewis is there trying to deny it. Oh, just in time, but the bomb damage is still going to connect. They're not allowing the Golem to be played out now for 100 Thieves. Constantly keeping up this pressure means they have to deal with this. The Royal Coast is going to connect, though, onto the back, and finally we're seeing 100 Thieves mount a push.
By a very thin margin, 100 Thieves preventing that balloon with the Rage getting onto the left-hand Princess Tower. But again, we're seeing pocket play from Tribe Gaming, and could this again be a distraction to slide that balloon through?
They're going to look for this opening right now. The two flying machines in the back utilizing this great range, 242 HP, and dropping the poison is there, and I believe that's going to be it with the log. Yes, Tribe Gaming taking game number 1.
100 Thieves making some really smart plays, but they just couldn't stand up against most importantly, the flying machines of Tribe Gaming used to perfection. They tried some redirects, some retargets, but in the end, they could not stop the aerial attack of Tribe Gaming.
Not having Tornado, I think, was definitely a factor here in this matchup, though both teams banned it. I think it would have really helped out here for 100 Thieves in this matchup because Tribe Gaming just looked oh so solid. And again, talk about the sheer Air Force. You have Mega Minion, you have the flying machines, you have the Lava Hounds, you have the balloon. That is a lot to deal with from 100 Thieves, and they just weren't able to make it happen.
Two flying machines staying on the board so long, providing support, clearing the path, making the way for Tribe Gaming to take that left-hand tower and take a one-game lead in the opening set. Both teams deliberating now, trying to figure out what changes, if any, there are to make. With that Tornado ban, we might see some more of the same, but what kind of tweaks might 100 Thieves have in store to get this second game?
I think one of the key things here is you have to play around Piedra and his specialty with that Golem. I mean, one of the things we have to talk about is the fact he was never able to really keep up that pressure. They were always on the back step once they got later into that game. The pressure never let up from Tribe, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see maybe Fireball coming in more. Really didn't see utilized in that one. Or even Giant Snowball as a potential to also help slow down these aggressive pushes, something we do see in 2v2.
Well, the knockback being so valuable as well. We have seen Giant Snowball make appearances here in 2v2. It hasn't really gotten its foothold yet in 1v1. Maybe the next update will get it to be more in the meta. So we'll see what kind of adjustments do they make with their spells potentially to try to stop this aggressive attack of Oxalate and J Monty.
Well, they're going to need to come up with a pretty compelling answer right now. 100 Thieves looking to push on through Poison, though, of course, one of the top-tier cards in 2v2. The Golem Knight's going to be wreaking havoc. Lightning dropped initially to slow down that cannon cart, and it doesn't get getting cleaned up, so a really nice hold. And now a counter push with the Royal Hogs coming in from Tribe.
The Royal Hogs, and there we do see the Giant Snowball doing a little bit of damage, splitting the Hogs, not quite getting them into tower range. Now keep in mind, with the Royal Hogs, having the Giant Snowball, potentially having the Fireball, you can get a King Tower activation with those.
We'll definitely be watching for that here as 100 Thieves going to look to activate that early, get that additional round of the defense. The Royal Ghost, though, ending up going through. Royal Ghost, a card we didn't talk about a whole lot in that last game, but it did a lot of work for 100 Thieves, just not quite able to capitalize on it. There's the Fireball as well.
And again, we see the really expert flying machine play from Tribe Gaming, staying on the board for a long time. Looks like 100 Thieves has picked up on that.
I actually love the flying machine play from Tribe. Now, you put it in the middle, it sits back, utilizes that long range. There is so much on the board that it's not really ever going to be the first and primary target here, allowing it to get so much value, getting these great positive elixir trades. That's something we're going to be seeing a lot here from Tribe. It was crucial in their win in game number 1, but can the strategy of 100 Thieves pay off right here? Can they finally look to push through this golem in a big and meaningful way, or will once again it get shut down by Tribe?
A high golem played by 100 Thieves, getting in the way of that cannon cart. It does stop the extra damage, but on the flip side, you don't get to build as big of a push behind it, and we see that happening right now.
Nicely done there from Tribe to stop the cannon cart there on the bridge. The miner in the back will get some additional chip damage. They are actually ahead right now, but now the counter push is coming in, the Lava Hound in the back, and we do see once again these Royal Hogs making an appearance.
The Royal Hogs going up against that Inferno Tower, distracting it a bit, and now with the Lava Hound still on the board and live, and the Pups come out. A little bit of damage here on the left-hand tower as we enter the final 20-25 seconds of regulation time, and getting very close to to our sudden death overtime.
Sudden, imagine triple elixir. Not yet, no. We are seeing, though, these big, compelling pushes coming in from Tribe, and really the focus is up front, but all the while the Miners have just been slipping in the back, doing a lot of work right now. The Miners actually been the unsung hero of this game for both teams, as we are seeing that Inferno Dragon shredding away there on the Golem. But the two Golem Knights are going to be there attacking the tower. This is actually going to be a fairly solid push, basically evening up the HP for both teams.
We have not yet had a really on-time reset of that Inferno Dragon, so the Golem getting through but not quite doing the full damage.
Getting that cannon cart down in the back, actually turning that Lava Hound around there for just a second, going to be negating a lot of that damage. The flying machine does connect on the right, though, as they do continue to push in, though the cannon cart is going to be massive. Can it find the lock on the tower? No. Beautiful placement of the Valkyrie, but still in the back, we have the Miner doing work.
And it looks like that left-hand tower of 100 Thieves is about to go down. Yes, it does. Both teams making great use of the Miner, but not quite quick enough for 100 Thieves on the left-hand side. And I think that might have been the difference there in that game, Paul. The Miner sneaking through behind the big pushes, not getting targeted, unresponded to, doing so much damage on the tower.
Like I said, that unsung hero, we're singing his praises right now as Tribe takes the series. Just really nicely done there from them. Once again, feeling so confident in this 2v2 format. Watch the way they execute these plays in an instant. The second they need coverage, the second they need to get a defensive play out or an offensive play out, they are both there, totally in stride. The communication from these guys is on point.
Both teams making use of the Miner, but it comes out better for Tribe Gaming.
With the Lightning, with the Fireball, if that connected a second sooner, that would have been...
I'd have to look at, I didn't see what the tower was at, but a big, heavy spell cycle coming in. We might have been seconds away from 100 Thieves stealing that game, sent us to 3, but that's not what happened. Instead, Tribe Gaming, J Monty and Oxalate, now really in their third overall match, finding their stride, 2 sweeps of 2v2 in a row. And up now, we are ready for 1v1, and this should be a fantastic matchup.
The excitement is growing. Seriously, I can feel it. A 1v1 battle grows near. 100 Thieves. Tribe, send your 1v1 duelers into the arena to meet their destiny.
We're ready for our second set, the 1v1 Eddie versus B-Rad. Eddie from 100 Thieves, of course, discovered at the Combine the first place qualifier.
Considers himself the dark horse, but this guy has done some fantastic play. A lot of eyes on him. And over on the other side, Tribe Gaming from St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. We got B-Rad, the resident Canadian phenom, going to look to make his country and his team proud.
Already doing well in 1v1 as B-Rad wins against Ah Crap and Adrian Piedra. And we have a new set of ban cards for 1v1 that will be active the entire potentially 3 games. Let's take a look at those ban cards for a second and see what will be off the board.
We're going to have the P.E.K.K.A. denied and the Royal Hog. Royal Hog's fairly standard, but this P.E.K.K.A. ban, interesting. P.E.K.K.A. a card that's seeing a lot more relevance, especially on the ladder. The way you're able to use it on defense, shut down aggressive push, especially into something like a Hog Rider, let's say, instantly taking him down, and then it's a threat that has to be dealt with.
With the Royal Hogs off the board, maybe we'll see a more classic Hog Rider deck coming through. Remember, Eddie, really, really good at the 3.1 Hog cycle. We might see that here in just a couple moments.
It all comes down to this right now. 100 Thieves looking to take set number 2. If they do not, Tribe with the clean sweep 2-0 will take it, and they will advance in the standings. B-Rad going up against Eddie. Already we're seeing a quick cycle coming out from Eddie. I mean, we're talking about Hog. Maybe, there's a lot with Ice Beard. 2.6 is potential.
P.E.K.K.A. again being banned. Maybe Tribe has something big, a huge beatdown deck potentially coming down the pipes.
Potentially now. We are just seeing both of these players sitting back, not wanting to over-aggress to start this off. B-Rad has had some amazing plays, taking down, Adrian Piedra. Oh, crap. He's done some fantastic games. He made some fantastic wins for his team. And now going up against Eddie, though. Eddie as well, taking down skills. That's no easy feat at all.
He showed off his skills as well, and that matchup did, of course, get the loss in King of the Hill time, but Eddie looking to show off why he's on this roster right now. This is interesting. Both players really holding on, waiting, looking like it's going to be a double Elixir time matchup. B-Rad potentially playing the beatdown deck with that P.E.K.K.A. off the board. This would definitely favor something like that. You got to wonder what Eddie has in store, though, waiting this long to get started.
We will see now, of course, having those 3 minutes of overtime, a staple here in the competitive format, does allow a little bit more flexibility when heading into that double Elixir time. Watch for, players to start dropping these cards around 1:05 to take full advantage as they move their cycle in to that DE time. Trading out a Zap here as well. Both these players want to make sure that they have the optimal starting hands here as we reach that crucial DE.
A cheeky Zap from B-Rad looking to extend the play he's done in 1v1 so far, and we're getting close to seeing our first cards, or our first non-cycle cards coming out here in just a moment.
Go. And we are seeing the Valkyrie and the Lava Hound being dropped right now. Counter push with the Balloon and the Mega Minion on the other side. I like this coming out now, but beautiful positioning on Inferno Dragon.
And B-Rad able to get his Zap back in cycle and take care of that Inferno Dragon. The right-hand tower of Eddie down to just about 1,000 hit points, and a push from Eddie developing on the left-hand side, now supported by Poison.
This is a massive push. We do have the Miner in the back there as well. The Executioner was doing its best against the Lava Hound, but the Pups are here, and they are chipping away at this tower. The Valkyrie, not a whole lot she can do about that.
Valky Balloon up on top, a traditional lava balloon on the bottom. The Miner can be used to support that with a refocus using that Zap. Probably going to see something on top similar from B-Rad. The Executioner being a nice bit of defensive support, though, against this Lava Hound.
The Executioner is going to be big here. Does quite well once these Pups drop. Watch how fast they fall here. But we do have the Inferno Dragon. Find the lock in the tower.
That is it.
Through all of that.
Sliding all the way through is Eddie. A little bit of a misplay here by B-Rad, not playing early with that non-beatdown deck.
While denying the sweep here, that was absolutely huge. Let's watch this back again. The Inferno Dragon just able to find the lock. The Mega Minion, a split second too late. Not able to get that Inferno Dragon down in time. The way the Pup spawn and the way the Executioner targeted those, not quite connecting there onto that Inferno Dragon, the key target that it needed to find. So in the end, we do see 100 Thieves taking game number 1, set number 2. Eddie coming out. He's looking so solid for this roster.
I mean, again, Eddie is an unheralded, underestimated player, and he showed why here. Now, again, you got to wonder at what B-Rad, what his thought process was there. What did he put Eddie on that he felt like waiting that long? I mean, you don't know, of course, what Eddie has in his deck, but we got to DE time, and Eddie with that lava loon deck has the advantage. We have the extra elixir.
Oh yeah, I really feel like, I mean, obviously B-Rad had the balloon himself, and Eddie had the lava hound, but I just don't really feel like that really favored B-Rad in that situation. I think it was maybe a bit of a misread from him, thinking that he was more confident in that situation, and now he's going to go exactly the opposite. We are going to see the hog coming out. This is kind of what we expected to see when we...
And here we go, my favorite card, the Expo. Of course, a very quick rocket put on top. Eddie now 1 win away from sending this matchup into King of the Hill.
Well, we'll see now. So that is absolutely going to be huge, how that rocket is played out against this Expo. So, oh boy, B-Rad, he needs to keep the cycle fast. He needs to keep the pressure up, because if Eddie finds an opening, if he is able to get a read on his opponent and the Expo drops at a crucial time, we have seen that card absolutely shred.
Yeah, but that rocket makes it really hard. You saw B-Rad just take off 9 elixir for just the cost of 6, getting that Expo and the Mega Minion out of the way. So there's going to be a question here. Can Eddie force B-Rad to use that rocket in some other way and get an Expo down, or will that Expo get stopped every single time?
That's really the win condition here for Eddie. He just needs to force out, he needs to bait out that rocket, because you will rocket Expo 100% of the time, and if you can do that, keep up your pressure in other ways, you're pretty much going to win that game.
Yeah, not really any other win conditions so far in Eddie's deck, but B-Rad has plenty of options. Sure, the Hog Rider is his primary win condition, but if played well, we've seen that cannon cart sneak through. If it gets a lock, it can be game over.
It can be game over indeed. The Expo is being dropped, and then once again, to see the rocket deal with that. Every single time the Expo is played, that rocket will be there. Well played was called by Eddie to start off this game. I think he knows he's on a bit of a backstep in this one.
B-Rad in a good position, and not only the rocket does, of course, make a great counter for the Expo, but that cannon cart can also really be a problem for the Expo, because, again, not only does it do so much damage, but it does retarget it again when it gets down into that second phase, potentially.
So many targets here. The log just rolling on out, not connecting exactly, I think, how it meant to there. Maybe a bit of a misplay from Eddie, as we are now seeing a switch up on that. The cannon cart, though, you instantly called it the second it is seeing that Expo, it's being dropped. The trade is going to be instant.
And the cannon cart going to survive and potentially get through and get a lock on that tower. And there we go, both sides from Eddie under assault. Now in so much danger. A huge lead for B-Rad as we are 30 seconds away from sudden death overtime.
This is a rough spot right now for Eddie to be in. The hard read from B-Rad. This deck is in such a good position right now from him. He is feeling absolutely comfortable in this matchup. Every single time that Expo was played, instantly answered from B-Rad. This is a great spot for him right now. Eddie needs to pull off a miracle lock with that Inferno Dragon. He just needs to make some sort of massive play right now, but he's definitely at a disadvantage.
Well, B-Rad now switching to the cannon cart for defense against that Expo. That does open up the rocket to close out this match as well, so if we get another couple more hits from that Hog Rider, he could rocket out, and that would be it.
That Ice Wizard Tornado doing a lot of work here as well. These Mega Minions, though, keeping up, or so to say, keeping off that Inferno Dragon from key targets. The Expo is being dropped, but you called it. Nice block, though, actually, though, with that Ice Golem. That was a really nice play from Eddie.
The Expo still alive, but I don't think it's going to survive enough to do any damage to a tower. A Hog Rider cycles through again. Eddie giving the GG. He knows he just got outmatched here. There's that final rocket. B-Rad evening up this second set, sending us to a third and final game.
B-Rad looking so calm, cool, and collected that entire time, identifying exactly what he needed to do to win. Eddie, again, would have been hard-pressed in this matchup to pull out the victory here. B-Rad just having all of the answers, and Eddie knew it too. Like he tried to pull off some cheeky plays, he tried to make some stuff happen. That Ice Golem positioning as well was huge, but in the end, just not able to cycle through, not able to get the key locks with the Expo, and that's Tribe taking game number 2.
As an Expo player myself, that is a nightmare. I saw that developing and I was feeling for Eddie. I've been in that position so many times. The cannon cart, ever since it's made its way into the meta, it's so frustrating as an Expo player. On top of that, you know, if you're just in with a rocket, you can sometimes find a way around it, but there's no other win condition for Eddie in that context, and that's why, again, B-Rad capitalizing on the matchup, taking us into the third and final game, looking to close this thing out right here for Tribe Gaming.
Eddie needs to get the win here to bring 100 Thieves into this final game, this final set number 3, I should say, the King of the Hill, the ace match. Tribe is going to look to tie this up in 2, put a bow on top, and call it a day. Can B-Rad make it happen?
And now we move into the third and final game of this set. What will B-Rad have in store for Eddie in this one? Will he play the Minor Control, one of his favorite decks to play?
I actually just watched the other day his 2.9 Minor Cycle video that he just put out. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's a whole lot of fun. It's not really the meta right now, but still a lot of fun play. And we're actually seeing the Expo being dropped once more here from Eddie. Maybe the mind game is absolutely real right now because B-Rad, who had the perfect answer, switched up his deck. Maybe this is the time for the Expo to shine.
Expo doing some damage here, now getting a nice little target. A little bit of work on the left-hand side. You got to wonder what Eddie put B-Rad on here.
I love this play. I love this play. So 100 Thieves calls for the timeout. They're like, make this big discussion going on. And in the end, Eddie just pulls out the Expo once again. The jukes, the ultimate mind game coming in right now from him. This is exactly what I like to see. Nobody would have guessed we would see another Expo. But here it is. The question now becomes, can B-Rad answer it this time around?
Well, a lot of small cards so far for B-Rad that can distract the Expo, but there's a lot of spell stuff on the board for Eddie that can help clear the way. And there we see the Fireball. The Expo might get onto the tower, not quite the zap, making work of it, but we do sort of see the game plan of Eddie developing right now. He's going to cycle that Expo over and over, get it on the board, and just slowly chip away at that tower.
This is exactly what Eddie needs to be doing here, but we really haven't seen the true win condition coming out from B-Rad. He's still keeping it close to the chest. We might see it unveiled as we get into double elixir time. But Eddie, we know what he needs to do to win this game. I like this. Still cycling this out. He's still playing patient is B-Rad. He doesn't want to give this away, and I love this. There's the balloon coming out, so Valk Balloon is going to be the response. And a great instant answer at that Inferno Tower. I love this. Eddie is feeling a lot more confident in this matchup.
And the Expo gets the target on the tower. That's what he was looking for. Great play with the Inferno Tower. The balloon going to get there, but Eddie does get his first big hit on the left-hand tower. B-Rad having both the Ice Spirit and the Zap for reset, but not coming into play effectively in this quite moment.
Every single time that Expo is dropped, there is an attempt of an answer, much less effective again, though, this time around. The Executioner, though, was in a good spot. A few hits did manage to get through onto the Princess Tower, so still, Eddie is getting the chip that he needs.
Eddie now noticing, looking at the Inferno Tower in this deck does give himself some more defense. That was an excellent choice, a little bit of an adjustment here. And now using the Ice Spirit, 2 nice kites from Eddie, keeping himself in the game, that right-hand tower up. And the Expo will once again get on B-Rad's left-hand tower.
Eddie is styling here in game number 3, feeling so much more confident. These micro plays are absolutely phenomenal, keeping that Expo up on cycle. That is exactly what he needs to be doing. The Fireball is going to come out to answer it. Nicely done, connecting onto all 3 targets here. That was a great trade with that. That was the Fireball that B-Rad needed to keep himself in this. He's now ahead in Elixir, or will be.
And another balloon push from the right-hand side, but the Inferno Tower down to target. He has 2 big, heavy buildings, Inferno Tower at 5 and Expo at 6 Elixir, but the rest of his deck is so inexpensive, he can get them down pretty much whenever he needs.
And that's exactly it right now. I love it, though. Every single time this Expo is dropped, B-Rad is trying to respond, but maybe not feeling quite so comfortable with this match. But again, he is known. He is the minor god right now, not having this in his arsenal. He's still just getting whittled away right now. This is really Eddie's game to lose.
Eddie's still playing pretty aggressive for this moment. He has all of these buildings. You might think he switches up to defensive play and spell cycles out on the left-hand side, but no, looking to put the Expo up high, wants to put a bow on it.
Put an Expo on it, as we do see that 118 HP remaining, which means that the Fireball will be enough. I think this is going to be it. This is going to be the game now. 100 Thieves looking to take us to King of the Hill.
And there you go. Eddie does it, showing why he made this roster. A man Woody has called the Dark Horse, one of the most underappreciated, under-feared men in the game, and that's why he put him on this team.
When I was originally interviewing this team, finding out about their players, Woody Hicks said, I think Eddie is top 10 on the continent, showing us why here.
Look at that replay, just a little bit of a small move, using the log to re-target that executioner, giving that Expo enough room to get through. That's the kind of play Eddie wanted. He made the adjustment from game number 2 to game number 3, getting that extra building in to give himself some more defense, pays off, and Eddie sends his team 100 Thieves to King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, of course, our tiebreaker matchup. Both teams will field 3 players. Each will get 1 life. It's a best of 5. First to 3 wins will take it. If you win, you stay. You're King of the Hill. You knock out your opponent. Bring up the next one. You can theoretically ace an entire team.
The teams have to figure out how they want to play this now, setting their lineups. Let's take a listen inside the war room.
First, we'll go with Piedra. Second, we'll go with PT 105.
I just don't remember.
Third, we'll go with Frost. All right, guys, we got this. I believe in y'all.
Okay, guys, King of the Hill, we didn't expect to be here, but we're gonna do it and we're gonna win. So first, we're gonna ban P.E.K.K.A. First, our Brazilian star, King Joao. Joao, this is why we brought you.
Woo,
You're gonna shoot them 3-0.
Let's go.
Second will be Oxalate. And J Monty, of course you're not gonna play, but okay. I know you sweep, just in the case.
I'll be there to dance. You guys ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do the try-win. Let's do the try-win.
Tribe on 3. 1, 2, 3, tribe!
Tribe Gaming and 100 Thieves have planned and plotted, calibrated and calculated. Now they'll wage war. Gentlemen, let's decide this with King of the Hill.
For the second time today, we go to King of the Hill, 100 Thieves versus Tribe here in the final set. Some interesting changes here in the lineups.
We're seeing Pure Zun going first up against King Zhao. Tribe Gaming bringing him in as well. We're not seeing Eddie or B-Rad here in this matchup.
And the ban cards, Tribe Gaming getting rid of the P.E.K.K.A, the Mega Knight out for 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves potentially looking to run some Royal Hog style decks here as well. That is a pretty solid counter to that. Of course, Valkyrie's still on the board. Tornado's still in play. Fireball's still an option. So still a lot of good responses there. But this is going to be interesting because, of course, Pure Zun, he's so known for his beatdown. How is King Zhao going to respond?
Well, King Zhao's known as a Lava Loon player. I mean, a great Lava Loon player, the Brazilian standout in that matchup. The Golem beatdown having a slight advantage in when those two go head to head. But who knows what they're playing here again with 2 big damage, or 2 big high cost, big damage cards off the board. You got to wonder, are we going to be seeing some speed against some beatdown, or will it be beatdown versus beatdown?
We're about to find out, Rich, as we get into game number 1 of King of the Hill. Each of these teams is looking for 3 wins. Will it be Pure Zun or King Zhao taking our very first game? And already we're seeing Pure Zun. Yeah, it's what he's known for, man. Let's look for that Golem.
Night Witch in the back definitely showing Golem early, and we see the Ice Whiz in response from King Zhao.
This is gonna be, or maybe we're changing things up here. The Giant is actually coming out here. Maybe he's debating all of us.
Very, very interesting shift. Not what we thought, but nice play. Easily taken care of, though, by that giant collection of skeletons. And now the cannon cart in the back.
Cannon cart in the back now going to be cleaning up this Ice Wizard with ease. Might be Giant, might see Triple Spell coming in here as well from Pure Zun. This is something we've been seeing a little bit more on the ladder of late. We're actually seeing the Miner coming out here as well, but the instant activation of the King Tower. Perfect placement on that Tornado.
And the King Tower in play for the Brazilian representing Tribe Gaming as we get closer to the halfway point of regulation time.
Still holding on to that last card here. I wonder if that's going to be a Lava Hound coming out from King Zhao, or if we're going to see another factor coming in for this win condition. Could be potentially Graveyard coming in here as well. So we'll see how this plays. Pure Zun, of course, he's so known for that beatdown style. That's both a blessing and a curse. Because while you're so known for this, also your opponents are aware, but you can also try and bait them into some different decisions. So we'll see how this plays.
Dueling poisons on Tribe's half of the board. The Giant looking to make it to the tower. Might get close enough for 1 hit, looking like no, it will go down just a bit early, but the sneaky miner in the back doing some damage. As we get closer to double elixir time, Piedra slightly ahead on the towers.
Yeah, the chip damage has been here, and there's the graveyard as predicted for King Zhao coming out, but the guards are going to be there to respond. Those guards do a pretty good job of responding to this, but still, those little skeletons are doing work. Half health, the tower is down.
The Giant doing a great job taking. Should see a miner coming in here, and that's the idea. Get the miner chip damage. Let the Giant soak up the tower and soak up any other sort of troop damage at that moment, but not getting on the tower. It might get one swing, that's about it.
It's about all you can ask for in that situation. The Tombstone doing a great job of distracting the Giant. Those skeletons taking it down with ease. The Giant hasn't been a huge factor here with Cannon Cart in the back. The Cannon Cart's truly going to be the one doing the damage. That's the card I'm watching for.
Can the Cannon Cart find a way through? The Mega Minion and the Poison doing some work, trying to get out of the way, and interesting play there with the Tornado. While it does do some damage, it does bring the Cannon Cart almost into range of the tower. Not quite. Good job with the Valkyrie to stop.
So close. Beautiful play from King Zhao, getting that Valkyrie down exactly where it was needed. The Poison as well to chip away through the offense and combining that with the Ice Wizard, slowing them down, keeping them in the Poison even longer. The Giant has been such a non-factor in this game, getting countered by that very cheap Tombstone.
Well, we haven't seen Zun get the miner down behind the Giant that many times yet, but as we're into sudden death overtime, you gotta think he does have the advantage. He has so many counters for that graveyard, the Poison definitely being one of them. If you can keep that graveyard from doing its damage, that repeated chip on the right-hand tower, Piedra could make this the first victory for his team in our King of the Hill matchup.
That's exactly what I was looking for there. Holding off with the Poison was Piedra. So the graveyard has to be responded with in a different way. Every single time that graveyard is going to be dropped. Having a Cannon Cart there as well, going to be making short work of these skeletons. The tower taking functionally almost no damage.
Down to 787 is the right-hand tower of Piedra. Now getting that miner through with the Giant taking, almost getting the Cannon Cart down. Could he, the second Cannon Cart, sneak through with a little bit of, nope, looks like it'll get stopped at the bridge as well.
Nice positioning there on that Ice Wizard, just keeping that Cannon Cart back. But now, once again, you're seeing the Giant attempt to make the push, but the double Mega Minion will be just chunking through the Assault right now every single time. The Tombstone is there, and an instant counter with that Valkyrie.
Predictive play there, and a little bit behind here might be Piedra. Looks like a little bit of damage getting down. He wants to try to predict that graveyard, get the Poison down. Does not work, and that is it. King Zhao, the Brazilian, making his first appearance at CRL and taking the win.
Nice positioning with that Tornado, pulling back those guards, not allowing them to be the critical defense that they needed there. In the end, it came down to this absolutely stellar graveyard, keeping up the pressure, forcing Piedra to spend so much elixir to deal with it. And then when you have plays like that, getting the Mega Minions through, the pure push that King Zhao was able to build, securing himself the win. That was a battle of inches, not miles.
The Tornado doing its work, getting the guards out of range and opening up that offensive opportunity. King Zhao taking down the first member of 100 Thieves, but up next, out of Oak Harbor, Washington, here is PT-105.
PT-105, known for his blend of control and also aggressive counterplay. This guy plays a ton of different deck archetypes. It is going to be very hard to nail him down. King Zhao is going to go out and execute on his own game plan because trying to predict PT is not going to be easy.
Remember now, 100 Thieves has just 2 lives remaining. Was 2 wins away. 2 wins away.
2 wins away. That's it. That's all they need to take it here. And King of the Hill, can King Zhao keep the streak alive for Tribe? Or will PT-105 turn things around and a pump for the first time today?
And some BMing on the part of King Zhao. Maybe a little bit of taunting going on.
I mean, hey, playing the pump as an opening play, that's always what you want to have if you are 100 Thieves in this instance. And King Zhao was like, yo, I'm not happy about this, and so I'm just going to charge down the left-hand side with an absolutely incredible push.
And that left tower looks like it's going to get chewed up quickly. The 3M down, but not quite in time. That is it for that left-hand tower.
Oh my, that was the absolute response. The second that Giant played, that was the push. Can PT-105 trade? Can he get through this? He has push coming out on both sides right now. Nice Fireball to clean that up. But
no, the Fireball really a bit of a misplay there. Does not get the two Musketeers on the left-hand side, and now his tower down.
Well, we're seeing both towers falling. I saw the fireball coming out, assuming it was going to be hitting on those musketeers, but no, instead going for the battle ram. That was, as you said, absolutely a misplay here. PT-105, that was probably the most aggressive opening we've seen yet in 1v1. 3 towers taken in about a minute.
PT-105 got the musketeers down and the counter push taking out not just both of the Princess Towers, but getting the King Tower down to under 3,000.
Both of these players saying that in an instant they can be the aggressors, they can get their push going, and we know what PT has in the back, so watch for these 3 musketeers to drop and build the play around that. The Giant is here as well, so that is going to be the front line here, but we know with the ram, with the potential split pressure that PT will be able to mount, there's a lot that King Zhao needs to deal with.
King Zhao with overcommitting a bit with that pump on the board, and then the elixir advantage too much. He did not have enough to defend against those 3 musketeers. And then, of course, the misplayed fireball. And now, really, this is in PT-105's core as we have just 50 seconds remaining in double elixir time. Can he sit back and defend, or will he push for the 3-frame?
Inferno Dragon is dropping here with 2 Giants up ahead on the field. The Valkyrie play from King Zhao has been phenomenal, but the push is still alive. The Zappies doing their best to slow it down, but the Giants are heading here towards this with only 30 seconds remaining. Both players are saying this one is over. I think King Zhao realizes he's in a very rough position. He's going to try and get through here with the log, with the Royal Hog, but can they make it happen? The tower is still sustaining, surviving, and he's holding strong.
Too much DPS with that brilliant minion horde in the back, taking out the Royal Hogs. That is going to be it. You know, for a second we were like, why is Eddie not in this lineup? But PT-105 showing why he belongs here in King of the Hill.
Doing a fantastic job of tying this up 1-1 in our King of the Hill format. 100 Thieves is on the board. King Zhao is down. So next we see, can PT-105 keep the streak alive? Will he maintain the same deck? And we saw what happened here. Look at how much damage was committed. The 3M, you know, got the value, but you talk about overcommittal.
And you keep an eye as we go through here on the elixir of both players, especially when you get a chance to see it. But you see the low elixir for King Zhao, really nothing to respond to against those 3 musketeers. Both towers go down. There was so much happening against him, he had no choice and no opportunities.
But now PT-105 going up against Oxalate. This is going to be an amazing show right now. Oxalate, of course, having, let's see, CCGS NA #1. You know, 2 sweeps on CMQ. This is a player who can absolutely go off. This guy has competed against the best of the best. And now he's going up against PT-105, who is, of course, hot off a win.
And he's already showed what he can do here, Oxalate, with that win over Colton in King of the Hill. In his first match, of course, knocked out by Razor as part of that giant crazy run that ended earlier today. But right now, looking to get the win for Tribe Gaming.
Looking to go up 2-1 in the King of the Hill here. Of course, this is our ace match. And to reminder, Mega Knight and P.E.K.K.A will not be seeing play at all in this series. So see if that makes an impact here. Again, we expected Royal Hogs. We saw Royal Hogs.
Both players this time sitting back. We have seen more patient play today than we've seen so far in CRL, but that's over. This is not going to be a stalemate for a while. We will not get to 105. The miner comes out a little chip damage early.
And not quite getting that Valkyrie in position to tank for that. We are also seeing the Night Witch coming out. We'll see if the Giant trend will continue or if we will see that Golem pairing once again. No, the Giant's going to be the play.
Oxalate Giant supported by the Night Witch. Now the E-Wiz as well. And a nice fireball pushing them back, letting the Inferno Dragon do its job.
Winning the fireball and the zap to that, taking down the Night Witch and the E-Wiz there as well, knocking down some HP on that Giant. So nicely done there from PT-105. A little bit of tick damage, not even going to find it with that Inferno Dragon zap.
And might we see the Graveyard here from PT-105? No, we see a Lava Hound in the back. Interesting play.
Lava Hound coming out right now. Again, this guy is known to play all sorts of different archetypes here. He is known for not having one set style. He can play absolutely everything. So pulling the Lava Hound out here in this situation, great Valkyrie positioning as well to deny that cannon card, because we've seen in the past, a cannon card can slip through. If it's left uncontested, it will absolutely wreck your tower.
The Giant getting through, probably going to be a balloon following this Lava Hound on one of the future pushes so far, holding back on that card. Same thing for Oxalate, holding one card in his hand. We don't know what it is quite yet. The Inferno Dragon now taking care of the push for Oxlade, but a lot of damage getting through.
Already getting a lot of damage onto this tower. Oxlade, the Giant, doing its job. The Night Witch being the one to come in the clutch and start to rip down this Princess Tower. Of course, the E-Wiz going to be the ultimate response to that Inferno Dragon. Just the saddest little dragon. You can't just get any charge going.
And a big push mounting for Oxlade in the left-hand lane, the Cannon Cart and the E-Wiz behind the Giant. This time the Giant's not just distracted, the Giant making a beeline for the tower. Will get at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 hits on the left-hand lane.
Beautiful zap there as well. The Skeletons are going to fall. The Lava Hound is held up a little bit there. The Cannon Cart, of course, turning into that structure when it does collapse the first time around is going to be distracting that Lava Hound, doing a great job with the push. And the Giant coming out once again. This is exactly what Oxlade's looking for, but now the Vulcan on the right-hand side going to be putting the pressure in for PT-105. He thinks he's found his elixir opening.
And can he get it done on the right-hand side? Looks like the Giant takes care of the tower on the left-hand side, but with only 8 seconds left, will we see the tower fall? Not going to be enough damage there. Can he get a fireball cycled through in time? He will not. And what unbelievable play by Oxlade. PT-105 could not get that final spell down, and now it all comes on the shoulders of one man for 100 Thieves. We are left with Frost, but first, let's take a look at some replays from this match.
It really came down to an attempted trade here, the fireball coming out, getting that damage in, but all the while, the Giant is finally taking down that tower, running Giants down that lane all game long, and it just came down to one spell cycle, the difference in that match.
And that's all it takes sometimes here at Clash Royale League. And here we go, 100 Thieves left to their last man, Frost, who we've seen so far making his match in 2v2, here trying to finally find that victory in King of the Hill in 1v1.
And the thing is for him, you know what he's saying? It's really important for him to win up against those amazing, those high-tier players. For him, that's like where he says, that's where I define myself as a player. I know if I can take down these good guys, that's how he finds validation. So, I mean, he's going up against one of the best right now. This is going to be a fun match. Traditionally, he's been playing 2v2. We're seeing him now in the 1v1 format. I'm really excited to see what he can do.
2 chances here to take down high-tier players. Can he go through Oxlade? Can he go through J Monty? It's coming at you right now.
All right, this could potentially be our final game here. Will Oxalate close it out? Or will Frost take us to, once again, our final game of King of the Hill? Both players just starting out with some cycle, getting on through. The Valk is here, but some initial chip damage.
Frost does play a lot of 2.6 so far, looking like that might be what he's doing, but the Tornado getting that King Tower activation going to make his job much harder.
Much harder indeed. Not quite in position with those Skeletons to get that block there for the Miner. So already some return damage coming in now from Oxlade, but the Hog is going to keep going on through. The minions are there, but it's going to connect.
He does get on the outside away from the King Tower. The Miner Poison being played by Oxlade.
I love this. 2 traditional classic meta decks coming in. 2.6 Hog Cycle. Of course, thus named because of that 2.6 Elixir curve. And now we're seeing Miner Poison coming in. Another staple in the competitive scene. These are decks we've been seeing for a whole long time.
You at home have probably played at least one or both of these decks yourself, and now is your chance to compare. What do you look like against the pros?
Well, I know for me personally, this is not something, 2.6 Hog, of course, one of the most micro-intensive decks possible. The plays that you make with your Ice Golem, how they kite out these across the front here, the charges, this is so absolutely crucial. How you just work in your cycle, get ahead of your opponents, utilize this on defense. It's all part of this game. Right now, we are seeing the Cannon Cart connecting, which means Oxlade's in a great position.
Cannon Cart taking care, and also a little distraction there on the Hog Rider might give Oxlade some time to mount a defense. There we go. The Tornado almost switches lanes for the Hog Rider, almost switches targets, doesn't quite, gets one hit on.
I got to give props to Frost, though. I mean, this is actually big right now. He's been able to sort of go even in the chip. I mean, if Oxlade hadn't found that key connection with that Cannon Cart, Frost would be sitting in a really good position right now. So this is actually big. That Ice Spirit going in, carving the way out for that Hog Rider, able to get just one additional little hit in right now. But Valkyrie and Cannon Cart, these are 2 cards that are so strong in the meta, making an appearance here for Oxlade.
Poison doing its work on the right-hand tower, and the Miner in. Nice distraction work again. The cycle is so quick at just 2.6 for Frost, able to make so many defensive choices, and now a lane switch. Hog Rider in the left-hand lane.
done from Frost there, using that Ice Spear, using those skeletons, absolutely shutting down that miner. That is exactly what he wants to do. But unfortunately, it's only 2 more spell cycles down before that tower is going to be gone. 300 HP is the magic number for Log and Poison. The Hog is going to try and get through as well. The Fireball is there. Can it get it? No! The Valkyrie is going to be enough to slowly shut this down. I think that is going to be it with only 5 seconds remaining. Oxalet's in a great position.
And that is it. Oxalet sealing the match for Tribe Gaming. So close. Oh my gosh, for Frost. Just a swing away from taking that right-hand tower, but he could not get there. The play by Oxalet, the consummate pro, one of the best in the business, holding strong, sealing the win for Tribe Gaming.
Nerves of steel in what could have been and what was our final game of King of the Hill. Tribe Gaming looking excellent here, showing us why they are up here on the big stage. So many fantastic plays.
It's nearly a photo finish, but that is it. The log comes through. Game over. All 3 players down. 2 nice wins for Oxalet back-to-back, using his bread and butter, that miner, and he takes care of business.
What a beautiful series, of course, going all the way, and what a good show of sportsmanship here. Handshakes all around. All these guys have been playing together, know each other for a while. It's great to see them coming out here and competing.
And now Tribe Gaming taking that all-important victory, moving themselves to 2-1, where unfortunately 100 Thieves dropping to 0-2, but it is a long season. Let's take a look at those leaderboards.
Let's take a look because, of course, it's all about getting in this top 4 position. The top 4 make the playoffs. Of course, they are fighting for an opportunity to represent North America at the World Final. That's the big prize. That is the gold at the end of the rainbow, right? That's basically it, right? They're fighting for that opportunity. It's not just bragging rights on the line. They want to be the team to represent North America.
And the journey for 4 more teams continues on Wednesday here in North America. And you can follow all of the action by hitting that subscribe button on the Clash Royale Esports YouTube page, and also going to the tab in your app to follow all the action in CRL from around the world.
We'll be back tomorrow with Europe. More amazing gameplay there, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you soon. I'm in Verum. That's Rich Slayton. We'll see you next time.
Absolute consummate Oxalet. The battles we have witnessed today now belong to history. They are etched in stone, chiseled into the annals of time. Basically, I'm saying that they'll be remembered. And we've seen the very best of Clash Royale in this arena today. There's so much more to come this season. Fine, I'll beg, please subscribe to the Clash Royale Esports channel and see every tower fall on the journey to the CRL World Finals. This is the Clash Royale League. Oh, and remember, may your fireballs reach their target, and may your elixir always flow free. Thank you.